everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Becca, and today we're going to be doing a very different video. And as you can see, different setup, there's whole new things going on, got new hair, everything is very different than when I first started my YouTube channel versus moving states and like doing all these things. And I wanted to have a specific video dedicated to change. It's gonna be very, like, if you don't know me, you're not gonna know personally, like things like that. But I kind of wanted to come on here, do a general video on just change and when to know that you need to change, or you need to know when there's so much better for you out there. And not only did I change, obviously physically, but physically in regards to location, as well as mental, as well as like spiritual, and just overall general change. Change is very scary. I grew up in this town for 10 years. I met my fiance, another change. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And so I settled upon the esthetician world. And it was great. I opened my own business. A lot of you have followed me from when I did have my business. I was posting more content in regards to that. And one of my videos that is most popular actually is my lash cart video. And so I really, really enjoyed what I did. And at that time, with the state of the world and just everything going on mentally, financially, personally, just in general, I knew that there needed to be some type of change for that. So me and my fiance moved closer to his family. It was somewhere where I don't think I would ever see myself going back to. It was a great experience, but that entire time of living there, I was miserable. And it's not a secret that I was miserable. And so instead of wallowing in that, I decided to really push myself and do something a little different. And up until this point, I was always doing aesthetics. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be doing this till the day I die. Like, I love aesthetics. I love lash extensions. I love skincare. I love makeup. And so I couldn't see myself doing anything but that. But when I moved, that I felt like stopped, and my passion had died down. It wasn't something that filled a spark in me. And although I do love the aesthetic space, I did want to kind of branch out in a way that's more creative. And during that time, I actually did a UX design course. I took my time with it. It was an accelerated course, and I took my time with it. And I definitely wish that I had, taken it fully seriously, because I was like, oh, it's just something to do on the side while I'm working. And so I never really thought how important UX design is, in our everyday life, but how it would be importance to me now, looking back on it. And so I finished my course. I was great. And then I finished it and I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with this UX design certificate? I'm new. I've been applying to jobs like left and right, like internships, like literally anything I could think of, and I never heard anything back. And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And I went to go see my brother and his wife. They're super successful, and I did realize at the time that I want to surround myself with people who are successful, who have everything. They might not think they have everything together, but in my eyes, they did have everything together. And so I wanted to really embrace myself in that. Whenever I would talk to them, it was very motivational. Clarity and things like that were coming to life. And, they lived in a different state than I did. And so I really found the beauty in the state. And so, in the state of mind, but also the location too. And I decided to make a big change and move across the country. And I did that. And that's where I am now. And so, my thinking behind it was like, oh shit, like I am going away from the norm. I'm going to somewhere that makes me happy, that I can see potential. And it was a very scary, very, very scary transition because not only do you have the opinions of others, but you are going to a completely new area. You know, two people. Like, there's nothing easy about that, it was really hard because I was like, I'm throwing my life away and I'm going somewhere new. Like, it's so weird, but it's just so crazy that that was a year ago and a lot has changed since then. I decided to separate myself from something that wasn't making me happy and wasn't fulfilling my life. And I decided to move somewhere completely different. And that was a year ago. And a year ago, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay within the aesthetics field, but I want to focus on UX design. And I was like, how am I going to do that? So it was great. My sister-in-law who lives here, she was like, I really need help with my business's Instagram. So I was like, you know what? That sounds like pretty interesting. Like I definitely want to, branch out into doing something creative. And whenever you think of social media, you're like, everyone's on social media. Everyone, is creating content. And it was a different aspect in regards to like content creation because I'm used to this content creation. You're talking, you're making videos, you're doing all of that, but this was a different kind of content creation. I was creating videos to promote her business. I was also creating infographics and posts to promote her business. And so I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I've never done this before. I want to see if I can, branch out with this. Like this seems interesting." And at the time, I did work at a med spa, so it was still engulfed in the aesthetics field and had never worked at a med spa before. So I was really lucky that I was able to get a position that I was still in the space, but not fully in it. So I was a receptionist and I was the social media manager there. And so it was a really great experience because not only did I get to, you know, craft my aesthetics like mind and like learn from my colleagues, but I also got a chance to create content for them. So I was also creating, videos and infographics, carousels, reels, all that. So I was still engulfed in it, but I wasn't fully sure exactly what I wanted to do and if this is something that I really wanted to do. And so over the course of the year, I have been working with my sister in law, and she does her business, but she also has a dental studio that she opened up here. And so I was like, yes, I would love to, document your journey and create content for you. And her dental space is not like a typical dental space. It's not super, like, when you go to a doctor's or a dentist office, you're like, oh, it's super sterile and like very monotone colors. Like, everything is just very, like, I don't know, like a sterile, when I say sterile, obviously it's clean, but like a sterilized environment where it's just like you're only coming for a service. There's no connection there. And so hers is different. It looks like a spa. Like, it looks like she chose neutral colors, but it has like the wood accents. There's a lime wash wall. There's beautiful things about it that makes it look more spa-like and not like an average dental practice. And so I decided to take on that job, and I loved the aesthetic space. I love, not because it was just a dental office, but like the aesthetic of it and creating content to match the aesthetic, but also still being in the aesthetics field on my own. And so I balanced the two, and I really have come to the conclusion that I love creating content for aesthetic like places, especially in the regards to, I know these people, I can talk to them and feel very comfortable about everything, and I can really express my creativity not only in their creative direction in regards to like brand guidelines and everything, but also I can still be super creative. I can create different types of content. And during this entire time, I decided to do a certificate program as well for graphic design. And so I was like, UX design, graphic design, and in everything with that, you're trying different variations of it, different iterations of everything. And so I was like, you know what? I actually really love this. I love being super creative and staying in that space, expressing my creativity, but also working for companies that embrace aesthetics and like in regards to, of course, skincare aesthetics, but also aesthetic in their space and in their business. And so I was like, I love how I can merge the two and still create one where I can still be very creative and still embrace that whole thing. Because the reason why I started to be an esthetician was because I loved makeup. I loved skincare. I loved lashes. Like, I loved all of that aesthetic and like the beauty of it and the confidence. And if I can create that while also embracing my own creativity is something that I would love to, make a living off of. And so that's exactly my direction and my goals in my mind is creating something beautiful for a space that's already beautiful and creating like a digital experience, not even just when you're going to the place, to that business, but also in regards to like when you visit their Instagram or their social media in general. And so I embraced the change. I decided when I moved here that things were not going to be the same anymore, and it's very different when you're just like getting to know the space, you're getting to know the town, you're getting to know people, and it's very hard moving and doing that at the same time. But I am so blessed to have met the people that I have met because they've created so many opportunities for me. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe that you meet people at the right place at the right time to teach you a lesson in some way. So I was lucky enough to have met a friend who, at that time, I literally just moved like a month into living here, and we just instantly connected. And it's just so crazy because you never really meet people like that really like instantly connect with you and on a level that you just have this mutual understanding. And I see her as someone that I had to meet at that specific time for a reason. And I cherish that friendship, and we're still friends. We still see each other at least once a month. But we make time for each other and have that time to like really like talk and like see what's going on in their life. And so you have to see those people as someone that is there to teach you a lesson. Like, she was my transitional friend of like moving from one place to the next. And you know we really truly connected and bonded and during that time. And I finally made the decision to fully live here, and I got an apartment. I did all the things. And so she was still there in that transitional period because it was someone that I was supposed to meet. And so I always have to think about that because change is so drastic, and so it doesn't feel like you should do it. Like, up until this point of living here, I was like, you know what, or like living here or doing the things that I want to do, it was like, I don't know, like I'm self-doubting. I'm like, thinking of all of the different types of things that could happen, and they didn't happen. I have thrived like so much since living here. And I might not be to your level of success or your level of salary, your level in life, but proud of myself. And it was just really crazy to like think about the thoughts that I was thinking when I was living in a place that I didn't enjoy, and I was doing things I didn't enjoy doing, living, or career wise, I wasn't enjoying those things. And so when you really step back and think about the things that are, going to things that you want to do, things that you fully wholeheartedly believe, I believe that you can like really get there if you full heartedly like feel it with your soul. And I just remember looking at, and I was watching videos all the time. I was like, like if I lived at this place, where would I live? Like, what would I do? And who would I become? And so it's just so crazy thinking about that. At that moment, I was like, I'm going to live there. Like, I know I'm going to live there. I'm going to live in that house. And, I'm not living in a house or like doing all these like things that I said I was going to do, but I'm here. I, I've stepped up in my level of career. I've done all these things and I fully feel comfortable and confident in the things that I'm doing because I never gave up and because I always told myself that things will get better. And I just had to go through that rough patch to fully, enjoy myself and finally get to that point. And I just remember visiting here and I was like driving around this area and I was like, I'm going to live here. Like, I love this area. And then I'm here. And so it's just so crazy, like little things like that. It really, things you say and think really manifest into your life. And that's something that I've learned growing up is like, I used to be so sad and like when I was younger, I was like, I want to get sick. I want people to take care of me. Like, so intrusive thoughts. And like, I look at it now and like, I manifested that because I have my own issues, my own health issues. And so why do I want to put myself and think about that and really focus on that attention because I'm manifesting that negative attention. And so that's why happy thoughts now. And I'm human. I'm going to have these thoughts of like, oh, like, is like this change, like, is this bad? Or like, what if this, what if that? But that's what I really, really wanted to kind of address because change is scary, change is hard, and it's just your perseverance and your ability to kind of, what are you going to do about it? Everyone talks about manifesting and like, you're like, oh, I manifest $1,000, it's whatever. Like, you can't do that. It's not going to just pop up and, come here. But like, you have to think you can manifest that thought, but what are you going to do to get to that spot? Like, what are you going to do to manifest $1,000? Like, what kind of job are you going to get? What kind of, side hustles are you going to get? What type of, how are you going to save, And it's just so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to manifest this and like blah, blah, blah. But like, what are you going to do? You have to put in the work. Nothing just is going to be handed to you. And like, that might be great. You might show up one day and you're like, oh, I found $1,000 on the ground, but you really have to kind of think about that and embrace the change, embrace the ugly that it gets to that point because it's all worth it. And I promise it is worth it. Like, I just think about everything that happened over a year ago, and I was just like, I'm so glad that I left. I'm so glad that I changed my course of career. I'm so glad that I did the things that I did because it brought me here. And it's so weird to say, especially when you think about like everything going on in the world. But like, you have to think about yourself and you have to think about what makes you happy. And I'm so glad that I found a niche of like what I want to do based off of everything that I've done in the past, aesthetics and UX design, graphic design. And I was just like, what am I going to do? These are two different things, but I've come together on something that really manifests with them both, and really showcases all that. Enough of the yapping, but I just wanted to hop on here and create like a little video because I truly believe that anyone can do anything that they set their mind to. And it's so corny and so cheesy because everyone always says that. But if you don't truly believe in it, it's not going to happen for you. And so that's the thing that I really had to learn was it takes time and you have to full-heartedly believe in it and or you imagine yourself there because you'll get there and it's going to take some time. And it's very much like it's a journey. And I'm here for every step of the journey because I'm here to live my life. Like, I look at it and I'm like, dang, I'm old. But I'm like, everything that has happened to me has brought me to this point, and I'm glad that I experienced it. Because not even in just, changing states or changing locations or changing careers, it's like literally like everything in my life. All the friendships and relationships and the situations I've been have brought me to this point, and I am very glad that I had to go through that to get to who I am today. Very cheesy. I'm so sorry, but I truly believe it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is very different than what I've been posting, and I want to do more videos like this because I truly believe that anyone can accomplish whatever they put their mind to. And so I wanted to shift my channel in a very different direction, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.